Alright, and welcome to another episode of the In the Hot Seat podcast. And for this week, I'll be talking about NWA for NWA Hard Times with number 3. We're up to number 3 already, and being able to see what was able to happen and what went down. We had the pre-show where we had quite a few stuff there. The number one contenders match for the NWA World Television Championship, where we had Mims being able to win his match there, which is good against adorable Anthony Andrews. So that was really good with Mims being able to get his win there. We had the Wildcat Sports Tag Team Championship on the line between Buku Dale and as well as Jay Spade, and being able to deal with Sal Renal and as well Gags the Kimp on this one, and as well Boo Dale, trying not to mess with the names too much, and Spade, Jay Spade, they were able to actually get the win and keep their tag team titles there. Where we had the Hardcore Tag Team War, we had Anthony Merriweather dealing with JTG, the Pope. They were able to get the win against Jack Stain, Mercurio, and as well Alex Taylor on that one. So that was basically it when it comes to that match. Then the television championship on the line. Jordan Clearwell able to win over AJ Kazana on that one to actually be able to deal with getting the win there. So that's good for that part of the pre-show, and to get into the main card where we had dealing with the casket match, which is definitely interesting to say the least, and actually starting things off, which is really cool to see that, and being able to deal with Max the Impaler, being able to take on Natalia Markova on this one, and Natalia being able to do everything that she can to try and stop Max, but that wasn't the case, and of course being able to have Max not only just attack Natalia, especially going to the outside where the casket was on the rim in the stage area, being able to take her out onto the actual casket and be able to get the win there. We saw Sal actually in the casket try and help out Max and everything, so Max didn't really need the help basically per se, but being able to have them actually win, which is really cool to see them get the win and see what happens next, definitely for sure. We had the National Open Weight Championship from LLW with Davey Richards dealing with Kobe Carino. This was definitely a fun back and forth matchup, to the point where I thought Kobe Carino was actually going to get the win, but Davey Richards found a way to make Kobe Carino tap out and being able to keep his MLW Openweight Championship. So seeing him be able to be a part of MLW and as well NWA has been really cool. To see him go back and forth, and curious to see how things will continue. Things I'm sure are far from over between the two. And then we had one of the matches I didn't really care for too much. We had the mask and mask match between Question Mark 2 and as well the Question Mark, basically the other one being Rodney Mack in this one and everything. Of course, Aaron Stevens being able to say that for Rodney Mack, he's the real original Question Mark on that, but I'm happy Question Mark 2 was able to get their win. To see where things are going. It's been a little weird, kind of crazy, but also paying tribute to the original Question Mark, which I do definitely miss for sure on that. So having the Question Mark 2 definitely makes sense to actually get the win on that. Then we had the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship on the line, where we had Kerry Martin dealing with Homicide on this one, and at times it felt like Homicide was able to take control and everything, but Kerry Martin able to come back and actually get the win. So really awesome to see him get the title and everything. So curious to see where things are going to be going for them. Then we had kind of like almost like a surprise match, but it still got underway. We had Thrillbilly Silas Mason dealing with Odinson on this one. The spray actually coming into play, especially for Thrillbilly, kind of helping him, it feels like. And he was able to get the win over Odinson, which was definitely interesting to say the least on that. So actually happy for Thrillbilly there for sure. Then we got the NWA United States Tag Team titles on the line, dealing with Jay Bradley, of course, dealing with Wrecking Ball Jaworski on that. And as well, of course, for the other side, where we had Rush Freeman and Brody Pierce on this one, I actually wouldn't mind having new tag team champions on this one, but dealing with Ronaldo getting involved and trying to make sure his team win, I felt like they almost got a win, but they didn't. Of course, being able to have the champions retain with the fixers, being able to get the win, definitely, I guess, makes sense on that. Keep things going for sure. And then we get the National Heavyweight Championship on the line, dealing with Cyan and Jake Draper on this one. Very interesting stuff, and Cyan able to keep the title and keep things going for him. I've been liking what he's been doing as of late, definitely for sure. Curious to see if we ever get to see him unmasked at some point, but at this point isn't really need to. Just basically lets his in-ring work basically do more of the talking on that. Definitely for sure. Then we get into the women's tag team title match, and then dealing with Kenzie Page and Ella Henry for Empowered, and definitely Missa Kate and as well Manny Winkowski on this one. I actually was going through Miss Kate and her team and everything, and until the point where they basically had miscommunication, and pretty Empowered, able to be able to retain on that. So I'm not really too mad at that, and to see, curious to see who we're able to go up against with them next. Then we get into EC3 and Dom Latimer. This one definitely escalated quickly, especially after dealing with a basic match. EC3 being able to badmouth Dom Latimer, and then he was able to get very frustrated and then had a DQ, which definitely sucks. And that's this feud is far from over on that, and we'll see what happens the next time these two definitely face off. Maybe in the stipulation, who knows, but we'll see what happens with that for the next time. And then we got into a tag team championship match where we had for this one dealing with La Rebellion, and as well for Luke Hawx and PJ Hawx and everything. I was really hoping they would actually get the win, but La Rebellion were able to find a way to retain and keep the titles, so that definitely makes sense, I guess, in the way there. But I was hoping, again, like I said, that was definitely the time for Luke Hawx and PJ Hawx to actually get the tag team titles. Hopefully, at some point, they would definitely get to, for sure. And then we get into one of my favorite matches of the night, definitely at the co-main event for the NWA Women's World Championship, where we had Camille, Kylie King, and Chelsea Green. Couldn't went to either one of these women. Definitely for sure. At one point, Kylie King actually made Camille tap out, but the referee was basically distracted with Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green able to have her moments and everything, and do everything she can to get the win, for sure. But Kylie King and Chelsea Green were taken out by Camille, and Camille still being the Women's World Champion. So it's really interesting to see who's going to fully be able to stop her. No one has been able to, or came close. At least anyway, they came close. But I feel like Kylie King being able to get the win, that would have been awesome to see that. After only the referee were able to see the tap out submission at that point. But I think Camille and Kylie can definitely be able to continue things. I know Chelsea Green is looking to go back to WWE at some point, so that should be interesting to see what she does there. So I'm pretty sure that might have been her last appearance, not just with Impact Wrestling most recently, but with NWA as well, as she makes her way back to WWE. So we'll definitely see what happens there. And then we get into the main event for the World Heavyweight title, of course. Tyrus, Trevor Murdoch, and as well Matt Cardona. The only person that was missing, of course, was Nick Aldis, actually for his release, and I can understand why on that, and he'll definitely be missed for sure, especially with everything that he's done for NWA. I can see him definitely going to WWE as well, but that remains to be seen. So I would like to have Nick Aldis actually been able to be a part of this match, but it was definitely surreal seeing all three of these guys actually in the main event for a different title and different company, but being able to deal with Matt Cardona. I feel like he never lost the title, so he was making sure that he was able to get it back, especially with Chelsea Green getting involved. Tyrus dealing with Trevor Murdoch and being able to actually find a way to actually stop both Trevor Murdoch and Matt Cardona and actually get the world titles. So very interesting turning events there. So that was it for NWA Hard Times for number 3. So those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Be sure to leave it in the comment section for YouTube if you're watching for the video version on the YouTube side of things. So be sure to leave a like, subscribe as well, hit the notification bell because it definitely helps the channel grow with all your support. If you're actually wanting to actually continue more of the discussion, definitely on Twitter as well is where it's at for that. And as well for all the other socials, definitely check out for the In the Hot Seat podcast. So I definitely enjoyed NWA Hard Times 3, and to be able to move on to the next set of podcast episodes, which would be for Impact Wrestling Overdrive, definitely, and as well for AEW Full Gear and Survivor Series. So basically giving out thanks for that, since Thanksgiving is definitely coming up. So having a lot more to look forward to. There's still a lot more to come. So with that being said, hopefully enjoy the rest of your week and the rest of your day, and I'll catch you next time on the In the Hot Seat podcast.